Hey, good morning. This is neighbor Al again. Uh, well, it's raining, it's cold, it's the first day of buck season, so I'm not out near the woods. So I'm going to talk about lanterns again. So sorry if you're looking for trees, but the lanterns are kind of fun. Um, I picked up a Tilley, British-made, combination heater floodlight yesterday. I am delighted. It's one of the first times I ever bought something used that it worked really well right out of the box. I'm not going to have it lit, but I thought I'd just show you some of the details on it. If you've never seen one of these, and for the folks who have seen them before, you can see mine. In the garage today, but here we go. This is a Tilley R55. It is a infrared space heater. It has a 6 US pint, 4 proper British pint font on the bottom. I'm really pleased to say that the fuel gauge works, which probably isn't always the case for these. It has a small pressure indicator that as you pump it, the little button rises up until it's flush. It works. A little penetrating oil on it and it's moving smoothly. And it has the pump handle. Now, these things are started differently. Some folks have asked to see some detail, but this is the entire heater head. And what you can see is it lifts right off that main shaft. And that is really important because if I take this off, which is just the heat guard, and I take off this, I can replace it with what's in this box. My understanding is in the States, when these were imported, this is from 1959, come down. They always were shipped with, or they really promoted, what they call the CH1 conversion head. What the conversion head has done is it lets you turn this heater into a floodlight. And it really is, I will say, a very good floodlight. And again, it simply slips onto that shaft. So obviously you're not going to swing this thing around as much, but it just swings on. It's got the standard Tilley generator on the top. Really, it's very much Tilley, except that the generator rod, instead of being all the way up, it just rests on top. This is an older unit. It's got the middle wire to protect the globe. It is pretty much a standard globe. Trying to get a little close shot there for you. And it's got a happy mantle in there. And their mantles are different because they're secured both at the top and the bottom, which really actually makes them somewhat more durable because they're not flopping around like a Coleman. Oh, those British. We love them. Anyway, and what they include with it is the insect guard, which butterflies over to clamp around the generator and slip to the bottom of the CH1 to keep the bugs out. I'm all about that. So it's a very nice kit. What I was happy with, very happy with, is it came with the starter, the little alcohol methylated spirit starter with the butterfly clamp burner to preheat it. I will say it works brilliantly, works very well. And over on the shelf I got the original manufacturers. I'll walk over here. The funnel and the original funnel offset for filling it up, which is really nice for all my lanterns because you'll notice it's got a breather slot on the side. That's thoughtful engineering. That's just not a hack. That's brilliant. Well made. Nice fine screen in there. And we have the windshield for heating it. If there's any breeze against it, the alcohol flame tends to blow off to the side. So I can talk about it, but it's probably better to show you this. this little hatch up here, which I've heard called a lot of things, but if you just read the manual, is the lighting hatch. And this simply slides down over the heating head. You don't need this for the lantern, but it slides down. You would clip your alcohol down here to the bottom, and it contains the heat to make sure that it all gets onto the heater and lights off well. Indeed, it does. So I'm really pleased that he didn't know what that was for, but they were wise enough to say it was all in the box. Don't throw any of it away. I really appreciate that. The only thing I'm contending with it all on this is a little bit of the speculum plate is coming off here, and I'm having to be gentle with it. Remarkable surface coating. I haven't seen anything like it in some time. Very much totally reflects infrared. This thing is hot. I can be running it for an hour or two, bucking out heat from the front, put my hand on the back, and it's barely warm to the touch. It's a remarkable surface coating. I don't know if there's a coating available like it that I could take it someplace. So best well alone. I'm happy with that. And then the only other thing is, you probably can't see it, that top gasket there is wet. It's a tired gasket and it needs to be replaced. It's seeping just enough to concern me. I don't need seeps. The only other thing I think I will do with this, oh, and the pump worked brilliantly when I first used it. I was happy. The only thing I'm going to do with this differently is I think I'm going to make a retrofit for the pump. It's not metric. With a bicycle pump valve there to make it just easier to pump up. This is kind of cool. Click. This is sort of cool. You can see where for 50 years in storage the tip of this was resting in fuel. It's very cool. This thing is completely brass from end to end. The leather was in fantastic condition. It began to work immediately. I really was just delighted. I was anticipating all sorts of problems. I had this thing running in an hour after I got it. All I had to do is drain a little bit of fuel, rinse it, wipe it down. I used some graffiti remover to get old fuel that had dried on the surface off, and it worked brilliantly. Just really quickly back to this again. It looks like the regular head from a normal Tilley, except that it's designed just to slide down onto the generator by its own force. I'd have to take a look at, I have another Tilley to see how that generator works. But it's a sweet little thing, and it was very affordable. Even back in the day, they made it an attractive option. They were pretty smart about bundling it. Well, friends and neighbors, that's my Tilley. Oh yeah, there's my butterfly. There's my Coleman. It's sort of like family. Bye-bye.